If you're over 50 and you've noticed your legs feeling heavy, cold, numb, or tired far too often, stay with me, because this is one of the most common warning signs I see, and it's also one of the most fixable. Many men assume poor leg circulation is just part of getting older. It isn't. It's usually the result of habits that slowly restrict blood flow over time, and the good news is that the body responds remarkably well when you start moving the right way. I'm Dr. Robert Harrison, and in my years of working with men over 50, I've seen how circulation issues quietly steal energy, strength, and independence. You may notice your legs cramp at night, your feet feel cold even in warm rooms, or walking short distances leaves you unusually fatigued. These aren't just annoyances, they're signals. After 50, blood vessels naturally lose some elasticity, muscles shrink if they aren't used, and the heart has to work harder to push blood all the way down to the legs. Sitting for long hours, stress, poor sleep, and irregular movement only make this worse. What concerns me most is that many men stop moving because their legs feel weak, but the legs feel weak because they've stopped moving. That cycle is what we're breaking today. You don't need a gym, you don't need intense workouts. In fact, aggressive exercise can backfire if circulation is already compromised. What you need are simple, controlled movements that gently pump blood back toward the heart, wake up dormant muscles, and support the veins that do most of the work in the lower body. Timing matters more than most people realize. The best time to work on leg circulation is when your body is naturally stiff, early morning or late evening. Morning movement helps overcome overnight pooling of blood in the legs, which is why many men feel stiffness when they first stand up. Evening movement helps flush fluid buildup from the day and reduces nighttime cramps and restlessness. Even 5 to 10 minutes at the right time can make a noticeable difference within weeks. Lifestyle plays an equally important role. Hydration keeps blood from becoming thicker and harder to move. Consistent sleep supports the hormones that regulate blood pressure and vessel repair. And daily walking, even short, relaxed walks, trains the calf muscles, which act like a second heart for the legs. Every time they contract, they help push blood upward against gravity. When those muscles are inactive, circulation slows dramatically. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 safe, effective exercises designed specifically for men over 50 dealing with poor leg circulation. These movements are gentle, practical, and easy to fit into your day. They're meant to support your body, not exhaust it. As we go along, I'll also share simple adjustments you can make, when to do them, how often, and what to avoid so you get results without strain. We'll start with the first exercise in a moment, and it's one I recommend to nearly every man I see because it restores blood flow from the ground up. Take your time, listen to your body, and remember, consistency beats intensity every single time. When you're ready, let's move into the first exercise together. Now let's move into the first exercise because this one sets the foundation for everything that follows. I often call this the circulation reset. For the legs, it looks simple, and that's exactly why it works so well, especially after 50. This exercise focuses on the ankles and calves. Those muscles are critical because they act like pumps, helping blood travel upward from your feet back toward your heart. When they're weak or inactive, blood tends to pool in the lower legs, leading to swelling, heaviness, and that tired feeling many men complain about. You can do this seated or standing, and I usually recommend starting seated if balance is a concern. Sit tall in a chair with both feet flat on the floor. Take a slow breath in through your nose, and as you breathe out, gently lift your toes while keeping your heels on the ground. Hold that position for a second or two. Then slowly lower the toes and lift your heels instead, pressing through the balls of your feet. Move slowly, almost like you're moving through thick water. As you do this, don't rush. Speed reduces the benefit. What we want is controlled movement that encourages steady blood flow. Aim for about 20 to 30 slow repetitions. If you feel warmth in your calves or a light pulsing sensation, that's a good sign. That means circulation is waking up. One mistake I see often is men holding their breath while exercising. Don't do that here. Breathing matters. Inhale as you prepare the movement, exhale as you lift. That gentle breathing rhythm helps relax blood vessels and lowers unnecessary tension, which improves circulation even more. This is an excellent exercise to do first thing in the morning before you stand up for the day or in the evening while watching television. Many of my patients are surprised at how much lighter their legs feel after just a few days of doing this consistently. Now, let's talk briefly about what to avoid. If you push through sharp pain, cramping, or dizziness, stop. Mild fatigue or warmth is fine, pain is not. Also, avoid doing this right after a very heavy meal because blood is already being redirected toward digestion. Give yourself at least 30 to 45 minutes. The second exercise builds on this by engaging the larger muscles of the lower legs and thighs. This is important because circulation isn't just about the calves. The thighs contain large blood vessels, and activating those muscles helps move a greater volume of blood more efficiently. For this one, stand behind a sturdy chair or near a wall for support. Place your feet about hip-width apart. Slowly rise up onto your toes, lifting your heels off the ground, then lower back down with control. If standing feels difficult at first, you can start with very small movements. Even a partial lift helps. What matters most is control on the way down. Lowering slowly forces the muscles to stay engaged longer, which improves blood flow and strengthens the support system around the veins. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions. Over time, you can build up to 15 or even 20, but there's no rush. If you notice swelling in your ankles by the end of the day, this exercise is especially helpful in the late afternoon or early evening. It helps move fluid that's collected during the day and can reduce nighttime discomfort. I also want to touch on footwear because it affects circulation more than most men realize. Tight shoes or stiff soles limit natural foot movement. Whenever possible, choose comfortable shoes that allow your feet and toes to move freely. Around the house, gentle barefoot movement on a safe surface can further stimulate circulation. Before we move on to the next exercise in the next part, I want you to remember that progress doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing these movements regularly. Even on days when you feel low energy, a few minutes is enough to maintain momentum. In the next part, we'll add a movement that targets the knees and thighs, areas that often feel stiff after 50 and can further restrict blood flow if ignored. When you're ready, we'll continue. Now let's keep building on that foundation, because once the calves are active, the next area we need to address is the knees and upper legs. This is where many circulation problems quietly begin after 50. Stiff knees and inactive thigh muscles don't just affect how you walk, they slow blood movement through some of the largest vessels in the legs. This next exercise is gentle, controlled, and very effective. I often recommend it to men who say their legs feel stiff when they first stand up or weak after sitting for a while. Sit on a sturdy chair with your back straight and your feet flat on the floor. Place your hands lightly on your thighs, not to push, just for awareness. Take a slow breath in. As you breathe out, slowly straighten one leg until it's parallel to the floor, or as close as you can comfortably manage. Hold it there for 2 seconds, then lower it slowly back down, then switch to the other leg. What's important here is not how high you lift the leg, but how slowly and smoothly you move. The front of the thigh is working, but so are the deeper muscles around the knee. These muscles help guide blood through the area, especially when walking becomes more limited with age. Start with 8 repetitions per leg. If that feels easy, you can increase to 12 or 15 over time. But if your muscles begin to shake slightly, that's okay. That tells us the muscles are waking up and doing their job. As you do this exercise, pay attention to your breathing. Don't hold your breath. A slow inhale as the leg lifts and a relaxed exhale as it lowers helps keep blood vessels open and relaxed. Tension restricts circulation, and after 50, we want to reduce unnecessary tension wherever possible. This is also a great moment to talk about sitting habits. Many men spend long hours seated, whether it's driving, working, or watching television. Prolonged sitting compresses the backs of the thighs, slowing blood return from the legs. Doing this exercise once every hour or two, even for a minute or two, can make a noticeable difference by the end of the day. Now let's add a standing movement that builds on this and brings in balance, which is closely tied to circulation and leg health. Stand near a wall or hold the back of a chair for support. Shift your weight onto your left leg. Slowly bend your right knee and lift your right foot a few inches off the ground. You don't need to lift it high. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds, then gently place it back down. Switch sides. This movement activates the muscles around the hips, thighs, and knees all at once. It also encourages small adjustments in the ankles and feet, which further stimulates blood flow. Balance challenges like this are especially valuable after 50 because they engage multiple systems at the same time. If holding one leg up feels difficult, Start by just unloading the foot slightly, keeping your toes touching the ground. Even that small shift activates important muscles. Over time, your strength and confidence will improve. Aim for 5 to 8 repetitions on each side. Quality matters more than quantity. If you feel unsteady, slow down or reduce the hold time. There's no benefit in rushing. I want to pause here and talk briefly about timing. When should you do these exercises? For most men, mid-morning or late afternoon works best. Early morning is fine for gentle movements, but deeper leg activation often feels better once the body has warmed up a bit. In the evening, these exercises can help reduce that heavy leg feeling many men notice before bed. Now, let's connect this to lifestyle, because exercise alone isn't enough if the rest of the day works against you. Hydration plays a big role in circulation. Dehydration makes blood thicker and harder to move, especially through the smaller vessels in the legs. Many men don't drink enough water simply because they don't feel thirsty. Make it a habit to sip water regularly throughout the day, not all at once. Another overlooked factor is posture. When you stand or walk with your shoulders slumped and hips tight, blood flow through the pelvis and upper legs is reduced. Even short posture checks during the day, standing tall and gently engaging the core, can improve circulation without any extra effort. Foot movement also matters. Wiggle your toes, rotate your ankles, flex your feet when sitting. These small movements keep blood moving and prevent stiffness from setting in. As we move into the next part, we'll focus on a movement that targets the hips and inner thighs. These areas are often neglected, yet they play a major role in stable walking and efficient circulation. Let's keep going, because now we're moving into an area that many men over 50 rarely think about, yet it plays a huge role in leg circulation, walking confidence, and long-term mobility. I'm talking about the hips and inner thighs. When these areas become tight or weak, blood flow through the upper legs slows down, and the lower legs often pay the price. This next exercise is simple, but don't underestimate it. I've seen men feel warmer, lighter legs within days of doing this consistently. Start by sitting near the edge of a sturdy chair. Place your feet flat on the floor, slightly wider than hip width apart. Your toes should point forward or just slightly outward, whatever feels natural. Sit tall, chest relaxed, shoulders down. Now, slowly slide your knees outward as if you're gently opening your legs, then slowly bring them back toward the center. The movement should be smooth and controlled, not forced. Imagine you're moving through warm water. Do this for 10 slow repetitions. What's happening here is important. You're activating the inner thigh muscles and the muscles around the hips that help stabilize your pelvis. These muscles support healthy blood flow from the upper legs down toward the knees and calves. When they're inactive, circulation can become sluggish, especially after long periods of sitting. As you move, breathe naturally. If you notice tension in your jaw or shoulders, consciously relax them. The goal is ease, not effort. If this feels too easy, you can add light resistance by placing your hands on the outside of your knees and gently pressing inward as your legs open. Keep it gentle. This is not about strength testing, it's about awakening muscles that may have been asleep for years. Now let's take this same idea into a standing position, which further boosts circulation and balance. Stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, holding onto a chair or counter for support if needed. Slowly bend your knees just a little, not a deep squat. From this position, gently shift your weight from one side to the other, straightening one leg while bending the other. Move side to side at a slow, steady pace. Imagine you're swaying, not stepping. Do this for about 30 to 45 seconds. This side-to-side movement encourages blood to move through the hips, thighs, and knees in a natural, functional pattern. It also helps lubricate the joints, which is especially helpful if you feel stiff when you first start moving. If you notice discomfort, reduce the range of motion. Even small shifts can be effective. Over time, you'll likely notice your legs feel more responsive and stable. Now, I want to talk briefly about footwear because it has a direct impact on circulation. Shoes that are too tight, especially around the toes or midfoot, can restrict blood flow. If you spend most of the day in rigid or narrow shoes, consider switching to footwear with a wider toe box and flexible sole at least part of the day. Walking barefoot indoors, if it's safe for you, can also help strengthen foot muscles and improve circulation. Just a few minutes at a time is enough. Another lifestyle factor to consider is temperature. Cold environments cause blood vessels to tighten, reducing circulation to the legs and feet. If your legs often feel cold, especially in the evening, keeping them warm with light socks or warm clothing can help maintain healthy blood flow. Let's also talk about consistency. Doing these exercises once is helpful, but doing them daily is where real change happens. You don't need long sessions. 5 to 10 minutes spread throughout the day is often more effective than one long workout. Many men ask me how long it takes to notice improvement. Some feel changes within a week, others take a few weeks. The key is not to push harder, but to stay consistent. Circulation responds best to regular, gentle movement. As we move into the final part, we'll bring everything together with a simple walking-based movement and a calming finish that helps your legs recover and stay comfortable throughout the day and night. Now let's finish strong but calm. This final part is about putting everything together in a way that feels natural, sustainable, and realistic for everyday life. Because the truth is, circulation doesn't improve from exercises alone. It improves when movement becomes part of how you live. The last exercise is one of the most overlooked tools for leg circulation after 50, and that's mindful walking. I'm not talking about power walking, speed, or distance. I'm talking about how you walk. Stand up tall, shoulders relaxed, chest open, jaw loose. Before you take your first step, gently shift your weight forward and feel your heels connect with the floor. Now begin walking slowly, even if it's just across the room. As you step, focus on rolling through your foot. Heel touches first, then the middle of the foot, then gently push off through the toes. This rolling action works like a natural pump for blood flow in the legs. Take about 1 to 2 minutes to walk this way. If you're outside, great. If you're indoors, that's perfectly fine too. What matters is the awareness. As you walk, let your arms swing naturally. This helps the nervous system stay relaxed and supports overall circulation. Keep breathing steady and calm. Many men rush through walking without realizing they're shuffling or barely lifting their feet. Over time, that limits blood flow and increases stiffness. Just changing how you walk can make a noticeable difference. After walking, let's do a short recovery moment. Sit down comfortably. Place both feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes if that feels safe. Take a slow breath in through your nose, then gently exhale through your mouth. As you breathe, bring your attention to your legs. Imagine warmth moving from your hips, down through your thighs, knees, calves, and into your feet. This mental focus may seem simple, but it helps relax blood vessels and support circulation. Do this for 3 to 5 slow breaths. Now, let's talk about timing, because when you do these exercises matters. If your legs feel heavy or stiff in the morning, doing a few of these movements right after waking can help start blood flow for the day. If swelling or discomfort shows up later in the afternoon or evening, a short session then can make a big difference. For many men, the best approach is small sessions spread out. A minute here, 2 minutes there. You don't need a special time, special clothes, or special equipment. Lifestyle also plays a major role. Sitting for long periods is one of the biggest challenges after 50. If you sit a lot, aim to stand up and move at least once every 30 to 45 minutes, even if it's just for a minute. Hydration matters more than most people realize. When the body is even slightly dehydrated, blood becomes thicker and harder to circulate. Drinking water regularly throughout the day supports healthier blood flow. Sleep is another factor. Poor circulation can make it harder to get comfortable at night, and poor sleep can worsen circulation. Gentle leg movements earlier in the day often lead to better rest at night. And finally, patience is key. Your body didn't change overnight, and it won't improve overnight either. But it does respond remarkably well to gentle, consistent care. If you stick with these 5 exercises, listen to your body, and make movement a daily habit, you're giving your legs what they need to stay warmer, lighter, and more reliable as the years go on. That's how you protect your independence, your confidence, and your ability to keep doing the things you enjoy.